Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to this very special live stream. I am your host, Modsani, and joining me today are the wonderful Modlight and two very special guests from Steamforge. We have Jamie and Fraser. How are you all doing? We'll start with you, Modlight, followed by Jamie, and then Fraser.
Hello, I am so excited to beat all of you guys at this board game. I cannot wait. It's gonna be amazing. Can't wait.
She's being
I'm
so
gonna.
toxic in chat. Sorry, Jamie. She's been so toxic in chat, and she's talking about cheating the whole half an hour beforehand. So like, I'm just gonna keep an eye on her in it. That's all I'm saying. So Jamie, sorry, go ahead.
No problem. Well, I am so excited to tell you how much of a cooperative game this is. So we're going to be winning together. We'll be beating this game together. Yeah, my name's Jamie. I am the product owner for RuneScape Kingdoms, and I work for Steamforge Games. I'm effectively the project lead for overseeing this whole project, and I work with specialists like my friend and colleague Fraser, who is the game designer and game developer for RuneScape Kingdoms. Fraser, can I hand over to you?
Hi, I'm Fraser. Perkins has just introduced me and gave away my thunder, so thanks for having us. It's great to be here.
You're welcome. It's what I do. Okay, so are you happy for me to just lead off and give us an introduction, Jeremy, what we're doing here, Matani?
Yeah, go for it. Just briefly, you guys can use !RuneScape Kingdoms in the chat to find out loads more about RuneScape Kingdoms, Shadow of Elvarg, including loads of blogs, information, the Kickstarter link, and a dedicated Facebook group for that. We also has SFG China Blue in the chat answering your questions, so feel free to pop any queries in there. But yeah, we should you go for it, Jamie.
Okay, so we're playing today through a couple of turns of RuneScape Kingdoms Shadow of Elvarg. So this is a cooperative board game for 1 to 5 players. We're playing with all 4 of us today, and we're going to be showing you a couple of example turns of how this game works. Overall, what we're trying to do is we're trying to complete the various campaigns of RuneScape Kingdoms. The example campaign we've got here is this giant campaign board at the bottom, which says Vampire Slayer. So what we've done is we've taken some of the more iconic quests from sort of the early to mid-game elements of Old School RuneScape and RuneScape, and we've turned those into these campaigns that you play through. So anytime that a player is stuck or unsure of what they should do next, it's always a good idea to look at the campaign board and see your overall objectives. Because we're playing cooperatively, we'll play through all this stuff together. So as soon as somebody has spoken to Morgan, that's the first campaign quest, everyone has completed that quest, and we just tick that off with a little RuneScape token like this when that's been done. Once we've ticked off all the different steps of the campaign quest, the last thing we do is we'll have a boss fight against Count Draenor himself in the Crypt of Draenor Manor, and that ends your first campaign. What you then do in the full game is you take your characters as they are with all their skills and equipment and levels and play through the next campaign and roll onwards and upwards through the next parts of the game. So, but what we're going to do is show you some example turns from this first campaign quest. So, when you're playing the game yourself, the way the turn structure works is when it comes down to your turn, your player character gets to do 2 things. You will move to an adjacent region on the game board. So if you have a look at the character that I'm playing with, who's the knight over here, and I'm stood on Edgeville right now, during my turn, I could move to one of these adjacent regions, which could be the Grand Exchange. I could move to Barbarian Village. I could move to Black Knight's Fortress, or I could move to Ice Mountain. Once you've moved to one of those places, your character is either going to explore the region and see what random events they run into, and say if they meet one of the NPCs or help somebody out in that region, or maybe someone's attacking you. Something can happen. If you're not going to explore, you can interact with a quest. So if I'd moved to the Grand Exchange and I had a quest to perform, say on the campaign board, I could do that instead. And that's how we're going to progress through the game. There's lots of other stuff to explain as we're going through, but that's the basis of what's going to happen. We're going to move around and we're going to explore the game world and try to complete the Vampire Slayer quest campaign. So if I hand over to Fraser, if you want to talk us through firstly just what's going on with the campaign cards and then take your first turn, we can jump into it.
Yeah, so the first thing we do to set up the campaign is we draw one of these campaign cards. Vampire Awakens. In the crypt beneath Draenor Manor, Count Draenor awakens to sate his thirst for blood, and then the card instructs us to place danger tokens in a couple of regions and to take some cards from the vault and place them in an exploration deck. These vault cards are Count Draenor themed, and they make things scary, and as Count Draenor pops up and attacks us as we explore the regions. We set that up already before we started the stream, so we don't need to go through all that. As this track on the right hand side of the board, the escalation track ticks up, we'll draw more cards, and that'll further edit the exploration decks. It'll add more danger tokens and do other things as Count Draenor gets more dangerous and expands his rampage. So anyway, with that done, I'll take the first turn. My archer character is on Lumbridge, so I'm gonna, as all hands float above my character. No one touch it, just me. I'm gonna pick my character up. I'm gonna move them to the adjacent Draenor village. So in Draenor village, as Jamie explained for us, I can either explore it or I can do a quest action. There is a quest action I can do. It's the first one on the campaign board. Speak to Morgan. So that's what I'm going to do. People of Draenor village live in constant terror. Their numbers are dwindling, all due to the foul creature lurking in the manor to the north known as a vampire. One villager, Morgan, seeks aid. So an adventurer in Draenor village with defense 1 or more can perform the following action. Speak to Morgan by collecting Vault Card 1. So, I am an adventurer, I am in Draenor village, and I have 1 defense, so I can speak to Morgan. So I'm going to go into the vault and collect Vault Card 1. Morgan. The vault is a stack of cards that are hidden. We don't know what there is. At various points in the game, we'll be asked to go and draw cards from them and resolve them as they are. It can be any number of different types of cards. In this case, it's a character card from Morgan. So we'll speak to Morgan, who says, "Please, please, bold adventurer. Our little village has been dreadfully ravaged by an evil vampire. He lives in the basement of the manor in the north. We need someone to get rid of him once and for all. I have a friend who is a retired vampire hunter. His name is Dr. Harlow. He may be able to help, give you some tips. He can normally be found in the Blue Moon in Varrock. So I gain 3 coins and I gain 1 experience in defense for having done that. So coins are these off to the side. I'll take one with a 2 on it, and one with a 1 on it. And then I'll gain 1 experience in defense, so I take one of the experience tokens and I place it on my character sheet next to defense. As I gain experience, I can level up my skills, get better. We'll show you how they interact with the game in a second. So now, spoken to Morgan, that's my turn finished. And we move on to...
Okay. So the last thing we need to do is just mark off on the campaign board that we've completed the first campaign quest. So the next thing we need to do collectively is speak to Dr. Harlow, but we can come back to that later. So what we are going to do is we're going to move on to Modsani's turn as the Skeller, who I believe is stood on Falador right now. So Modsani, what would you like to do with your turn?
Yeah, we don't need to worry about Dr. Harlow
Loxani.
for now. Thank you. He's just chilling there. We can get back around to him. I am quite happy chilling in Falador with a White Knight, so I want to get some Fred.
Okay.
That's what I want.
Sure. So instead, you don't have to move anywhere, so you've elected to stay still and explore Falador. So how that works is, instead of drawing an exploration card, like for the smaller regions, what's going to happen is you can collect that thread piece if you want to get one of those thread tokens off to the left-hand side that you mentioned. So what's happening there is, at the bottom of the Falador banner, you can see a little thread symbol. And that's the resource that Modsani's just collected by exploring the region. The other thing that Modsani can do, now that he's explored Falador, is you can gain some experience in different skills. You can see at the sides of the banner here that you've got a little crafting symbol here with a 1 coin above it. So you can spend 1 coin to gain an experience point in crafting. If you want to, in addition to or instead of, you could spend 2 coins to get experience points in gathering, or 2 coins to get experience point in cooking. And if you want to spend 5 coins, you can do all of the above. So which of those 3 skills would you like to gain experience in? You can do each one of them once if you want to.
I tell you what, let's go. Let's spend 2 coins and we'll get the gathering. We'll up my gathering by 1.
Yeah, okay. So we take those 2 coins away and add an experience point to your gathering skill.
Nice.
Okay, so that's gonna. Okay, let's drop that down a little bit. Nice. Perfect. Okay. Do you want to spend any more gold for any other experience, or is that it for your turn?
Nah, I think that's me. That's me done.
Okay. The last thing we do, because you've explored a capital, is the escalation track gets moved up by 1. So this is kind of like a little bit of a timer. So it's just letting you know that the more we move around, explore the major areas of the game board, the escalation token is going to rise up. When it gets to the top of this track here, and some more stuff from Count Drano's effectively decided he's going to have more of an impact on the game experience and come and do some more terrible, nasty things outside of Drano Village. So that's the end of your turn. So we come to my turn with the knight. Okay, so the second campaign quest we've got, Speak to Dr. Harlow. It says here, let's have a read of it. It says, Dr. Harlow is willing to help you in your quest, but first his lips must be wetted by beer newly brewed. An adventurer in Varrock with thieving 2 or more can perform the following action. Get your hands on a newly brewed beer and then speak to Dr. Harlow by collecting Vault Card 2. So luckily, because we've been through, we've fast forwarded the game slightly, we've kind of skipped through Tutorial Island, so our characters have got a couple of extra levels and things. I already have thieving 2 because of that Tutorial Island section. So I'm kind of perfectly poised to go and steal a beer and use it to speak to Dr. Harlow. But I need to get to Varrock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move from Edgeville, I'm going to move to the Grand Exchange, and I'm going to explore the Grand Exchange on my way through. So that means I'm going to draw one of these exploration cards. Now, you probably noticed that on the game board, the banners are themed in different colours. Like all of the banners around Varrock are all yellow. All the banners around Lumbridge are that kind of like lighter blue, darker blue around Falador, red for Berthorpe, and green for Edgeville. This just groups the different areas of the game board together to see what kind of exploration card you're going to draw. So because I've landed on a yellow region near Varrock, I'm going to draw a card of the same colour. Flip it over. This is what an exploration card looks like. Now, there's quite a lot of information on here, but we don't need all of it. All we need is, because I'm on the Grand Exchange, I just need the section that says Grand Exchange. Those with a deft hand can often find coins. Those without. So this is going to be a thieving skill test we see on the right-hand side here, where you've got a 3, then the skill icon for thieving, and then a 7 at the bottom. So what that means is, if my skill is less than 3, I only get to roll 1 die because I'm not very good at the test. If my skill in thieving is 3, then I get to roll 2 dice because I'm quite good at it. And if my skill is 4 or higher, it's above 3, then I get to roll 3 dice because I'm really good at thieving. In this instance, I'm not that good at thieving. I'm only skill 2, so I only get to roll 1 die. The number I've got to roll on that die is 7. So if I rolled more dice because I was really good at thieving, I'd have more chances to roll that number 7. But as it is, I only get to roll 1. So let's pick that die up, give it a roll. So I actually got 7, so I was successful this time, even though I'm not that good as a thief just yet. So what happens there is the green tick on the exploration card says that I gained 3 coins because I passed the test. If I'd failed it, I'd have suffered a wound because I got caught thieving. So as it is, I'm going to gain 3 coins. Now, because I also took a skill test in thieving, whether I passed or failed it, I'm going to get an experience point in thieving. So even just by taking skill tests, whether you pass or fail them, you're going to get experience, which will eventually level up your skills. Okay, so the last thing I can do, because I've explored the Grand Exchange, is I can take some flour, because there's a flower icon in the bottom of the Grand Exchange. So let's have some flower resource down here. Okay, and that is going to be the end of my turn. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to be on to Modlight. So, Modlight, you are stood on Varrock right now. What would you like to do? Do you want to move around somewhere else, or do you want to explore Varrock?
Honestly, it's a really difficult decision. I have so many options. I could go to Barbarian Village. I could go to Farmland. I could go to Dig Site. Can I go to the Grand Exchange, or are you... Is it... I can't
You can go there as well.
That...
No, you can go there as well. Join me in the Grand Exchange if you like.
I'm freaking out, honestly. There's so many options. I think I will go to Barbarian Village.
Sure.
I hope that's the right call, chat. I really do.
Okay, so
what can I do? Do
I
Barbarian...
So there aren't currently any quests to perform at Barbarian Village, which means you can explore the province. So we'll draw a Barbarian Village card for you, and then we'll flip it over.
Wish me luck.
Okay, and if you could read out the section for Barbarian Village at the top there, please.
Okay, it says, show your skill in ranged combat or prepare to defend yourself against skeptical barbarians. Fog.
Okay, so this is going to be a ranged skill test. Now, your starting levels, because you've picked the wizard character, your starting levels are in magic, so you've only got level 1 in ranged. So you're only going to get to roll 1 die at this, and you need to roll a 7 or higher. So if you can pick one of the dice from above, just select it with your cursor and then press R.
Okay.
Roll it for you.
Oh man, is my RNG on point? Just 1 die. Do I get the orange one as well, or just 1?
Just one of them. I mean, you can pick any of the one of them for now. Technically, the orange one is for when you have equipment later on, but you can roll any of the ones you like. Okay, so we got a 4 that
I-
time.
Oh no!
So that's not going to pass. It's not going to pass the test. It's okay though, because you're going to suffer 1 wound, but that's all right. You're not dead. You can at least it didn't kill you. You can suffer more wounds before you actually die.
Oh my
But
God.
because you took a skill test in ranged, you also get an experience point in ranged. So let's drop a skill
Okay.
experience point.
My gains are not lost then. Feels good, man.
That is very true. Okay, if you want to, you can also actually, because the other icon on Barbarian Village is the ranged icon, you can actually spend some resources to gain some more experience in your ranged skill if you'd like. And you've got some starting
I'm a mage.
resources. You've got some. You are. Well, you could choose not to. I'm just saying you could spend some of the fish, some of the eggs, or the cabbage, or to gain some experience in ranged. Or you could go, no, I'm a wizard. I'm not going to get anything there. What would you like to do?
I'm a wizard. I stick with my wizard roots, I think. Do I just put
respect
it
that.
into magic?
No, so it's gonna. So you can gain some experience in ranged, but that's it. So it's your choice is to do it or to not do it. So it's okay to.
Oh,
you
so
can
I
go, "No, I'm
can't.
gonna wait
Oh,
until I can-"
okay. In that
yeah,
case,
so
I
if
will
you're
use it on range.
Sure. So you can spend the vegetable you got, the egg, or the fish. You can spend all 3 of them. You can gain up to 3 experience points if you want to. If you spend 2 of
Okay.
them, you can actually gain enough to gain a whole level.
How do I spend them again?
So just tell me which ones you're going to spend, and I'll throw them away. You're just discarding them, basically.
Okay.
So
The
let's say
fish
you're going to
and the
spend.
cabbage.
So we just drop those tokens down here. What we then do is we drop some more experience points onto your character sheet. So because you've now got all the experience you need for the ranged skill, we take those experience tokens off, and you've gained a whole level. So you've now gone to level 2 in ranged. So you're much more likely to
Whoa.
roll more dice now when you take ranged tests.
Yeah.
Okay. So that might seem a little bit strange at first, as why you're sort of discarding cabbage and fish to gain levels in ranged. So there's a couple of different things at play there. We know that there's a lot of different ways to skill in the video games. Like for range, for example, you obviously just may need to go into combat, but maybe for smithing or for cooking, you often need to gain resources and spend them to gain experience. So if you were cooking something, you need to go and kill a cow and get the meat from it and then cook it, and then you get the cooking experience as well as the combat experience. So the way in which the skilling points work in the game here is, we've just said, because we've had to slim down the list of resources quite a bit because there are so many different resources in the video games, you can spend any of the resources that you've got to represent you spending resources to gain experience through doing something in the game.
Does it
And
scale
it's kind of
the
similar.
higher the level that you are?
No. So it still works the same way the whole way through the game. So even if you were level 98 and you wanted to get to 99, you'd still be having to get 3 experience points and doing that by taking skill tests or going to a skilling point as well. But considering 99 is so far away, that is the difficulty in terms of getting there in the first place, and that you've got to get through all the other 98 levels before you get to 99. Okay, so you've moved to Barbarian Village and you've explored. So I think that would be the end of your turn. We would then come back to Razor.
Cool. Right. So I've had a look at the campaign, and I know that I'm not going to take part in the speaking to Dr. Harlow bit. I'm not going to be a thief. But we are going to need someone with cooking and someone with crafting for the quest later on. So what I want to do is start to level my cooking. Fortunately, I have a side quest already, the cook's assistant, and that gives me cooking experience if I complete it. So I'm going to start making my way towards completing that one. To do that, I'm going to need the ingredients that's listed there: flour, egg, and fruit. I've already got flour and fruit, so I just need egg. So eggs are in farmland, so I'm going to make my way towards there to try and get the ingredients that I need to attempt that side quest. So I'm going to move from Draenor Village back to Lumbridge and explore it. So I get wood immediately. I can decide if I want to get some skill points in these. So we've got magic. I'm not a mage. Cooking. I am a chef. And defense. I think I'm going to get... spend 2 coins to get a experience point in defense, another 2 to get an experience point in range, since I am an archer, and 1 experience to get, and 1 coin to get an experience in cooking. So I'm going all in, I'm spending all five coins to get 3 experience. And then, since I've ended my turn on a capital region, the escalation track goes up by 1. And that's my turn.
Okay, and then we're back to Madzani. What would you like to do with your turn?
Ooh, okay. I'm having a look now. I just feel like Mod Light is going to be some sort of chaotic, so I thought I'd prep myself by upgrading my leather body, but I need some leather. So, can I teleport to Varrock? That's what I want to know.
You can indeed. I'm glad you asked. So, if you're too far away from somewhere on the game board, obviously you've seen only by moving one space at a time, it might take you quite a few turns to get across there. So, one of the things you can do instead is you can spend one coin, and you can teleport to any of the capital regions. So that's specifically Berthorpe, Falador, Edgeville, Longbridge, or Varrock. So you can spend one gold coin to teleport there.
All right,
And that would work. That would work as if that would work just as if you'd move there normally. So we'll pick your skiller up, move to Varrock. So when you get there, I presume you're going to explore, right?
Hell yeah.
So you can have the leather that you wanted, exploring.
Thank you.
Drop that across. And if you want to, you can. Well, say if you want to, you can spend gold to gain more experience, but you've just spent all your gold teleporting there. So I think you're out of gold for the time being. Okay, but as you pointed out, you've now got enough resources to try and have a go at upgrading your starting equipment. So Modsani's got a leather body card as his starting equipment. So it says there, to upgrade your resources, you need 2 leather, a metal, and a thread, and you're basically going to be taking that crafting skill test to try and upgrade it. So your crafting level currently is 2. Because the complexity is 2, you're the same as it, so you get to roll 2 dice, and you need to get a 6 or higher on any one of those to pass the skill test.
Alright, let's go.
I have a question. Why did you not draw a yellow card? Can you explain that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the exploration cards are for the what we call the province regions. So those are the smaller banners on the game board. Those are kind of the areas of Asgardian Misthalin where they're a little bit, wouldn't necessarily say like less safe, but they're more random as to what's going to occur. You could run into an NPC, you could run into someone wanting help, or a Black Knight could attack you. That's more likely to happen out on the road in the smaller areas of the game world. When you go to a capital region, they are a little bit more consistent as to what you're going to get out of them. So you're not as likely to be jumped on or set upon by bandits or Black Knights, etc. That's why we don't draw an exploration card, is because they're more sort of consistent in what you expect to see.
Cheers, thanks.
No problem. So I didn't see. Did you pass the test?
I did.
Awesome stuff. Okay, so we go back to the leather body card, and we can read what the card says at the bottom. So it says, collect a vault card 20, discard all the resources listed above. That's because you passed the test, so we'll discard those to leather, the metal, and the thread. And then we're just going to replace that leather body card with the studded body because you made it better.
I'm ready for Mod Light now. That's the main thing.
You are.
Pal, I know this is a co-op game, but I still want to smoke you guys at this game and beat all of you and get to 99. Oh, I did have a question as well. What is the point, like, what is the main objective of the game? Is it just to get through all of the objectives here, Vampire Slayer objectives?
Yes, so the campaigns are how you progress the main game and eventually like complete the game. The reason we have those campaign objectives is because the game is built in such an open world or sandboxy style way that you've got so many different choices of how you can skill your character up and how you can gain equipment and craft new equipment and stuff like that, that we needed to have the campaign boards in here as a campaign system to give you like a defined start and end point to the game experience. So once you've completed exactly. Once you've completed everything on the campaign board, you've completed the campaign. Once you've completed all the campaigns, you've won the game.
Okay, how many campaigns are there?
There are 4 in the core box, and there are extra campaigns in the expansions as well. So there are 4 of these you can play through just in the core box alone before you even have the expansions in.
Cool.
Okay.
Awesome.
If you're playing if you're playing at kind of like a reasonable pace, that's something like, if that all of those 4 campaigns together is something like 12 hours worth of game time. So you're not expected to do all that at once, of course, which is why it's important that this is a game that's designed to be able to be played a little bit, play for an hour or so. If you want to play more, then play more. If not, then you can pack it away in the box with your game in play as it is. You'll be able to pack away your tokens and your cards, etc., that your character currently has, so that when you next play the game, you can pull the game out and carry on from where you left off last time and just carry on through your campaign.
And I imagine like you can have people over every weekend kind of doing it, and yeah, just have fun progressing your Shadow of Elvarg board game.
Exactly like that. Yeah, you can play as much or as little of it as you like, and then you can put it away, and the next time you want to get it out, you can just carry on from where you were, as if it's a saved game.
Cool.
Okay, so why it was important that Modsani just upgraded that studded leather body there, that's going to be for defense skill tests. So if you have a look at the studded body card again, at the bottom of it, it says that you can add a bonus die to your defense skill tests of complexity 4 or less. So like low level skill tests, you can add an extra die to it and have a better chance of passing them for defense. Before you upgraded it to the studded leather body, you could only use the leather body card on complexity 2, 1 or 2, whereas this is like you can use it for more complicated tests, better tests. Okay, so I've forgotten where we're up to now.
Also, because you've taken a crafting skill test, you get an experience in crafting.
Thank you, Fraser.
Sweet, alright.
Yeah.
Easy.
Okay, so trying to remember what you were up to now. You'd moved. That was it. You teleported to Varrock, didn't you? That was it. So that'll be the end of your turn, I think, because you teleported there as you move, and then you explored the region. You've upgraded your other body cards. So let's move to me next. I'm going to take my turn, and I'm going to try and do the next part of our campaign quest and speak to Dr. Harlow, who's in Varrock. So I'm also going to move to Varrock. I'm also going to take some leather as well, because I'm going to explore it. Oh no, I'm not going to explore it. I'm going to talk to Dr. Harlow. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do my quest. So yeah, so get your hands on a newly brewed beer and then speak to Dr. Harlow by collecting Vault Card 2. So, okay, Fraser, would you mind reading out what's on Vault Card 2 for us, please?
The Vault Card 2 unfortunately has not made its way into this module, so I've got it off my other screen. I'll read it out. Vampires. I was really good at killing him once. You're going to need a stake, otherwise they'll just regenerate. Not just any piece of wood will do. Get a branch from the ancient evergreen at the foot of the White Wolf Mountain, although it's less cooperative than it used to be. You'll need a hammer as well to drive it in properly. Your everyday hammer won't do. You'll need to craft something specific. There's a rumour of a master craftsman living south of Port Sarim. One last thing. It's wise to carry garlic with you. Vampires are somewhat weakened if they can smell garlic. The more the better. Gain 3 coins and 1 thieving experience.
Okay, so yeah, okay, my 3 coins. Completing that. And was it 1 thieving experience?
1 thieving experience.
Okay, so and then we've also completed that step on the campaign board as well. So we've now completed Dr. Harlow. So you can see, as we're making our way through the turns, that we're slowly completing these steps on the campaign board. What Dr. Harlow has told us to do is he's told us to collect the wreath of garlic. That's one of our next steps. We've got to collect the stake, and we've got to craft the hammer by talking to Thurgo and crafting a hammer. Once we've done all of those, we'll be prepared to do the Vampire Slayer encounter at the end. Okay, so I think we'll take one more turn for Mod Light, and then what we'll do is we'll set up for the boss fight and show you through some of the boss mechanics as well. So what would you like to do with your next turn?
Yes. I would love to go to Fally and see what Fally has in store for me. I'm feeling good about this turn. Do I just draw the dark blue card?
No, so like you were saying during your last turn, we don't draw an exploration card for the capitals we go to because they're like more consistent areas. So instead, when you explore it, you're going to get a thread token, because that's the icon that's at the bottom of the banner. And if you want to, you can spend some of the gold you've got to gain experience in crafting. You could also gain experience in gathering or cooking. So are there any of those you'd like to spend gold and get experience for?
I think. Wait, you said gathering or cooking?
So gathering and cooking costs 2 coins each, and crafting costs 1 coin.
I'll do crafting then. I'm stingy.
Okay. It's highly reasonable.
Okay. Do I just put the XP thing on the crafting?
That's it, yeah. So we just move it down like this.
Nice,
Are there any others
sweet.
Are there any others you want to
No,
gain
nothing
experience in
else.
as well, or? Awesome.
Nope.
Okay, and then last thing we do is we just move up the escalation token at the side of the game board as well. Okay, so that's kind of walked us through a lot of the base mechanics of the game, like moving around, exploring the game world, pulling cards from the vault. We continue through that until we've gotten. Normally, we continue through that until we've gotten all of the wreath of garlic, the stake, and the hammer. But because we're not going to have time today to go through all of this stuff in a full playthrough, instead, what we're going to do is we're going to skip ahead now. We're going to fast forward. We've done all of this, and we're going to show you some turns of how a boss fight works. So we'll pretend we found all those stuff. So if Fraser, if you want to get the characters ready and do some level ups on people and get those equipment cards out, I'll set the boss fight up. Okay. So.
What is the
Probably a
XP
good time
per
now.
hour, do you think, roughly in this game?
It's
That
an
wants
excellent
to know.
question. Have we ever tracked that, Fraser? I don't.
I haven't tracked it.
Yeah.
They're very considerate about XP, so we really need to get those like tables up and graphs and stuff for them.
Yeah.
I would
I would
assume
love.
very low.
I would love to see that information. Yeah, I don't think he's particularly quick. Yeah, it's so when you're playing through, as you've seen through us sort of exploring the game board and moving around, you can gain quite a lot of experience points just through interacting with the various things on the game board and pulling experience cards and taking skill tests.
I'll just be rushing
gain
you
sort of
guys
big-
every time.
Yeah, you'll
Oh, I
be
need
gaining
my
sort of bigger
XP.
chunks of you'll be gaining bigger chunks of experience by picking up some of the side quests. So these cards are over here. These are completely optional. They don't help you get through the main game in terms of the campaign board, but if you, say, play through Gertrude's Cat or Goblin Diplomacy, you'll get quite a lot of experience all at once. If you complete a Goblin Diplomacy there, it'll give you a big chunk of, like, 5 experience points in Thieving, as well as some gold just for completing it. So they're a good way of sort of jumping forward your skill levels a little bit quicker than just moving around the regular game board, you see. Right, so do we have the stake?
Tell us a bit more
stuff?
about the minifigs that are on offer at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are just like a small selection of the ones that are in the core game box. I believe there are actually 5. No, not believe. There are 5 different player avatars for the lower level characters. And then I think what we did today is we actually revealed. We'll have a look at that a bit later in the stream. But we revealed our first miniature for a higher leveled player avatar today. So what'll happen as you're playing through the game is you'll hit a certain point in the game's campaign where it'll tell you to upgrade your miniature. So one of the ones I think we showed off today was the Dragon Knight miniature, which is the higher leveled up version of the Knight miniature that I've been playing with. So whereas you start off with your bronze armor, your bronze kite shield, and bronze equipment, there you go. You'll instead level up and have your Dragon Knight to play with later on. So you can have some much more prestigious armor, and you've got your fire cape as well to show off like how awesome you've been and all the achievements you've made. We'll have a leveled up player avatar for all of the player characters in the game. So you'll start with, say, like your wizard will start off with your staff of air and your blue wizard robes, and then you'll level up to a character with much higher leveled equipment, so you can show it off to people. Okay. In addition to that, we've also got quite a few different boss miniatures in the game. So at the moment, we've got Count Draenor that we're playing against at the moment, but I believe we also showed off another boss miniature today who was Delrith, which means that we're going to be playing through the Demon Slayer campaign as one of the campaigns you'll play through once you've progressed past Vampire Slayer. You'll get to play against Delrith as the boss fight there. And yeah, we've got quite a few more to show off yet. We definitely haven't shown them all off. We're also, I think, I'll just give you a little spoiler as well in case we haven't shown it yet. So we're in the expansion content. We're also going to be bringing in some miniatures for NPCs as well, some of the more famous non-player characters. I won't give away exactly who that is just yet, but be prepared to see some of your favourite non-player characters in miniature form too.
Awesome stuff.
Very exciting.
Could you tell us a bit more about the Kickstarter?
So the Kickstarter is going to be launching on the 31st of May. That's going to be running for 10 days, so it's going to finish on the 10th of June. And during that whole time, you can effectively pledge support of the Kickstarter campaign, which means that you'll be getting your hands on a copy of this game when it delivers. And what we tend to do in our Kickstarter campaigns as well is to make sure that there's a good reason for you wanting to get involved and back the Kickstarter. There's some Kickstarter exclusive content, which means there's some elements of the game that you'll only be able to get your hands on through backing the Kickstarter. The only other way to get your hands on that content would be to say like purchase it at a show or a special event where we've got some like limited edition run stuff going on as well. But so getting all that Kickstarter exclusive content is a really good reason to back the Kickstarter. And also just to see it be successful, you know. The more that this Kickstarter campaign funds, then the more copies of the game that we can produce and get the game out there, people get to play it.
A common question people are asking is, do we have an idea on price of the physical board game and potentially the expansions that you mentioned at this time?
Yeah. We do indeed. I believe that's been released in a blog. I think it's this week. So we are like that information is imminent. So it's going to be released very, very soon. You'll see it by this week, end of this week.
Some people might want to check out the Game Update news post for a little sneaky peek tomorrow. That's what I'm saying. Just keep an eye out for that.
Good spoiler. Okay, all right. So, Fraser, are we ready to go? We got a bit more to set up yet.
Yeah, no, so we're good to go. I'll just walk you through the quick level ups that I've done. So, Mod Sarny, you have leveled up very quickly in your crafting and your melee, and you've been equipped with the stake hammer and the stake. So, your job will be to drive home the stake and try and stop him from regenerating, while also when the time, if and when the time comes, pry his coffin open. Jamie,
nice,
I've given you some melee points and some defense points. So you're going to be a tank for the group.
Sure.
You cheated.
Given myself some raise points.
We fast forwarded.
Yeah, that's what we did. It's fast forwarding when we do it. I've given myself some ranged experience. I've upgraded my short bow. I've also got some thieving and some gathering experience, and mod light. I've given you 4 magic experience and the wreath of garlic, which helps you defend if counter attacks you.
All right, nice.
Okay, so let's have a little look here at how a boss fight would work. So like we said before, we've now completed all the rest of the steps in the campaign. We're ready for our boss encounter with Count Draenor. So how this works is we bring over our reference sheet for the boss fight. So just over onto the right hand side a little bit there. And this will tell you all the information you need to know for your boss fight. It tells you how to set it up. It tells you the different actions that you can make during the boss fight. So these are skill tests like we had before on the main game board. So it's a really good idea to level up your skills, because the higher your skill levels are, the better you're going to perform at your skill tests, which involve like attacking Count Draenor or changing the order of whose turn gets to go next and moving people around to push them out of the way of Count Draenor if they're about to be attacked. It also tells you what happens when you win, if you're defeated, and what happens when Count Draenor gets quite angry in the middle of the fight if he realises he's starting to lose. So if we just pan over to the left a little bit more, we'll have a look at the initiative track, which is just below the boss fight. So this is a row of cards that's going to tell us who gets to go first. So this is randomly drawn, and you draw an initiative card for a player character. So this is my initiative card of the night. Then we got a behaviour card for Count Draenor, and then there's another initiative card, and we keep going like that, and they're interspaced. So what will happen here is I will take my first turn. Once I've taken my turn, Count Draenor will go next, and we work through the cards left to right. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you an example turn with my knight. What I can do during my turn on the boss board is, just like on the campaign board, I can move 1 space. I can move either up or to the left and right. You can't move diagonally. So I can move on to the same space as Count Draenor, and I'm going to hit him with a melee attack. So using the reference sheet we had earlier, you can see if I'm making a melee attack here, it says that it's complexity 5, and I need to roll 8. But each die that rolls an 8 or higher is going to put a damage onto Count Draenor. Okay, so my skill in melee at the moment is 3, which means I'm only going to get to roll 1 die at it, sadly, because I'm not super great at melee. And I also don't have the stake. That's really important. Why do it? Let's put the die back, sorry.
Can we yell at you if you don't do enough DPS?
Absolutely.
I usually do.
So yeah, I mean, I am the tank, so I mean, I'm only here to sort of get attention more than anything else. So don't be too harsh.
Who's
but
the
yeah,
DPS person? Is it Sani?
Yes. So if we don't get any damage, we're going to yell at Matsani.
I feel like this was
So,
done on purpose, to be honest.
It's
I
fine.
need
It definitely
to be
was.
toxic in
So.
some way. This is too wholesome. I'm sorry. You have to be toxic in some way. Good luck.
Totally fine. So I'm gonna roll my 1 die and hopefully get some damage. I don't, because I only get a 5. So I don't cause any damage with my turn. So what we'll then do is move on to Count Draenor's turn, who goes next. He's going to play the Eternal Fury behavior card. So that says he's going to move 1 space towards the player whose initiative card is to the left, because his little arrow is pointing left. So he's going to move 1 space towards me. He won't move anywhere this time because he's on the same space as me already. And then he's going to be attacking vertically, which means that all of the boss's attacks are area of effect attacks. So that means he's going to hit anybody that's in the bottom square of the boss board. He's going to hit anybody in the middle square and the top square.
He can hit you back?
Yeah. It's time for the boss to hit us back. Okay, so...
Oh, jeez.
When the boss attacks you, he's going to force you to make defense skill tests because he's forcing you to defend yourself. And if you fail those skill tests, that's when we take damage and could die. So this is a complexity 3 defense test. Now my defense is level 4, so I actually get to roll 3 dice at this because I'm really good at defending myself. Not so good at causing damage though. And I need to roll at least a 7 on one of those dice. So let's have a look at that.
That's pretty hard.
It is.
7.
So I might fail it. But I managed to get it this time because I got the 8. I did. So that means I've avoided taking damage. Thanks. Okay, so we've moved past my turn. We're now on to Fraser's turn, who's the archer.
Oh, well, not quite. Sarni's getting hit as well.
Oh, you're right.
Oh,
Yeah,
am
sorry.
I?
Yeah, you're on the same space as me. Yeah, because you're on the same space as me.
Oh,
Thank you, Fraser.
no.
Is Sani
Okay.
gonna get hit?
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so Modsani,
Right.
you have only got defense 2, so you would only normally roll 1 die, but you've got your studded body that we upgraded earlier, so you get to roll the equipment die as well. That's that orange die. So if you could roll one of the silver dice and one of the orange dice, and if you get a 7 on either of those, then you pass the test, which you did. So you
Look
did
at that. Look at that.
Styled it out. Okay, so then we move on to Fraser's turn. Who's the
Right,
archer?
so I want to try and get away from him. So I'm going to move to there because I'm an archer. I have long range, so I'm going to use the ranged attack, which is range 2. So we count range across the flat edges from space to space. So 1, 2 puts me in range of that attack. So I've got a range skill of 3, equal to the complexity. So I get 2 dice, and then my upgraded short bow lets me roll the equipment die as well. So, looking for 6s. Oh, not very good. Okay, so I can get flamed now. So I have
We kick you
entirely
from the
whiffed my
group.
attack and done no damage whatsoever. So that's a strong start from the SFG crew.
Fraser has left the
And
stream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Buddy, you're gonna have to step it up, like, for real. We can't have leeches in the scene.
Oh, don't worry, you're up next, mate. Let's see what you roll, innit? Just...
That's true. That's true. You're up next. Okay, so
You
we've got
just
the
keep
lash
my
out
magic
behavior.
level low.
So we've got the lash out behavior from Count Draenor. So he's going to move 1 space towards the player to the left, which is the archer, and then he's going to attack horizontally. So because we've got a choice here, Count Draenor can either move 1 space this way or 1 space this way. And because we know he's going to attack horizontally, he's going to attack across this line. It's probably better if we move him down here, because then he's only going to hit Fraser. Instead of moving, if you move to here, he'd be attacking horizontally and hit all 3 of us. We don't want that. So we're just going to put it all on Fraser, I think.
So there are
Well, that's it.
tactics here in this game, boss fighting.
Definitely are, yeah.
Sure.
So, Fraser, you need to pass a defense skill test of complexity 3. You need to roll a 7. What are you rolling?
1 dice, which I have rolled, and I got an 8.
Nice.
Nailed it.
Okay.
So I'm not totally useless in this fight.
Yeah, you managed to avoid damage. Good. Okay, so now, no pressure. Mod light. What are you going to do with your turn?
What do I... So I just roll the dice, or do I press one of these cards?
So you're going to need to get in range of a magic attack. Now, magic is range 1, so you're going to need to probably move... let's think about where we're going to move you to. So if we move you to down onto this bones card down here, that's going to get you close enough. Just also spreads us out. We don't want too many people stood on the coffin. And that means you're in range to do your magic attack. So your magic attack it's complexity 3. And your magic skill is 4, so because it's higher, you're going to get to roll 3 dice.
Okay. And I have
so
to
if you
roll
can roll
higher
the
than
three-
6.
You have to roll higher than
To hit.
6 or higher.
what I was looking at now. 6 or higher, yeah. 6 or higher will do it.
Okay. All 3 dice and not the orange one, right?
Not the orange one, yeah.
Right. Wish me luck, chat. Wait, I got an 8. Oh.
You did. So we got 1 wound onto Count Draenor. So if you'd rolled 3 of those over 6, we put 3 wounds on him. We got 1 wound. That's still good. So if we just pan over to the
Punch
right a
him in
little
the
bit underneath
face.
with staff, yeah.
With magic.
Right?
With magic. This is where we record boss health. So Count Draenor starts on 10. He's moved down to 9.
Mhm.
So whereas on the main game board, each player character has individual health, the adventurers here are going to have a group health. It's all grouped together. If you've taken any damage in the main game, that follows over into the boss fight. So let's say we'd all taken 2 damage each, then we take 2 health off for each adventurer that are taking 2 damage. That's our starting
Wow.
health. But if that gets down to 0, we've all lost together. If we stay alive and we beat Count Draenor, then we've all won together. So it's all or nothing as a team.
Can you heal yourself in this game? Like, say
Yeah,
I
you
have a
can.
wound, can I?
So yeah, so you see there at the bottom of your character sheet it says cooked food and rations. There's ways in the game of getting recipes for food. You can get your ingredients and you can actually bake cakes or cook lobsters, etc. And you can create cooked food and rations that can give you health back. So rations is for giving you health back in a boss fight. Cooked food is for giving you health back on the main game before you go into a boss fight. We haven't got any food on us right now because we didn't cook any because we fast forwarded to the boss fight. But you can make food in the main game.
Can you make potions to buff you?
We do have the rotten potato if it's a J-mod, you know. So.
there's plenty of different things in items and crafts and stuff that you can make. So there's like a big item deck up here at the top. There's an event deck where you can find other random things earlier. I think in one of the playthroughs you've had, someone was super excited to pull a random item and they ended up accidentally pulling one of the dud cards and it was a cabbage and ended up. So there's different things you can pull out those decks. But yeah, you can make a lot of different things in the game.
Nice.
So we've moved you down. That was it. You did your magic attack against Draenor. That was it. So you've had your turn. So now we're going to have Count Draenor going next. He's going to do the Bloodlust attack. So it's 2 spaces towards the closest adventurer. Fraser, which one of these is the closest adventurer right now?
Always go lower on the initiative track to tie
Okay,
break.
yeah, okay. So because there are 2 equally close initiative cards, the Wizard and the Skiller, he's going to be going to the left and he's going to be attacking the Wizard. He's going to be coming after you, Modlar. So he's going to move towards you. Let's move you across here. Take a look at Count Draenor as he rushes towards you. And he's going to make you take a defense test at complexity 3. You need to roll a 7. So your defense level right now is only 1, so you only get to roll 1 die at it. But because you've got the Wreath of Garlic, you can re-roll that 1 die if it isn't successful. So if you want to pick up one of the silver dice for us and give it a roll.
Oh,
You alright? We lost some connection now.
you okay, Light?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was me. I was reading the
No worries,
chat.
so no problem. So Count
Just
Draenor's
rolling
attacking
a
you.
die.
So do you want to just pick up one of the silver dice and
I-
roll it for us? And if it doesn't,
It's
doesn't
not
roll a
like
7,
you have
can
like
re-roll.
a. But I just went though. Do I go again? Like I'm confused. I thought it was onto someone else.
So what's happening here is you've just had your turn, and then Count Draenor's going now, and Count Draenor's decided he's going to come and attack you, which means you have
Okay.
to roll the dice to defend yourself. So you instead of attacking, you're defending yourself this time. So
Okay.
so because your defense skill isn't super high, you're only going to get to roll one of these dice. But because you've got the Wreath of Garlic, if it isn't successful, you can re-roll it. That's what Wreath of Garlic does for you. So if you can
Right.
roll one of those silver dice. So with a
Not
1, what, you get to
successful.
re-roll. You get to re-roll it in case we can get another try at it. Nope, still not successful. Okay, so we're taking
Slightly
2
better, but
damage.
still not good.
So the Bloodlust card says that we're going to suffer 3 damage, and Count Draenor heals a wound. So it means that the adventurers go down by 3 health. 1, 2, 3. And Count Draenor's going to heal the wound we've done to him. He's going back to 10.
Oh, for real? Oh no.
Yeah,
That was all you, Light. That was all you.
Oh my
Think
god.
about what you've done.
Yeah, go over there. Think about what you've done here. Okay, so
Oh,
that's the end of
God.
Count Draenor's turn. We go on to Modsani to finish the round.
So can I move diagonally towards him?
So you can only move across the flat edges. You can't move diagonally.
Oh.
Okay, so you're a little bit too far away to use the stake at the moment. But so what you would do here is you'd move to one of the sides and you'd probably attack with ranged or magic. You can still do that even if your skills aren't particularly high. But let's have a look at what would have happened if you were close enough. Let's pretend that Count Draenor was there. We'll cheat for a second, and then you were close enough to run and use the stake.
Let's go straight at him. No hold bars.
Okay, so,
no, let's go.
So the melee skill test is normally quite difficult. It's complexity 5, you need to roll an 8. But if we have a look at the stake card, stake card says when an adventurer makes a melee attack against Count Draenor, the complexity is 2 lower and the target number is 3 lower. So actually it's only complexity 3, and you need to roll 5s instead of 8s, which means you're going to get to roll 3 dice, and any of them that roll 5s cause damage. It's much easier than when I was trying to attack Count Draenor before with my puny melee 3. Okay, so
Too
you
good,
managed to
guys.
put.
What am I saying? Just too good.
You got it. You nailed it. Or you staked it rather. So you got 2 damage into Count Draenor. Okay. The other reason why that's important is because there are some of Count Draenor's attacks. In fact, he's actually going to come up with it next. Regenerate. So when you've ended your turn, Count Draenor's going to do his regenerate behavior, where it says that Count Draenor heals a wound. If he was wounded by a melee attack made by an adventurer equipped with the stake this round, this effect is not applied. So because you've damaged him with the stake, he doesn't get to heal his wound at all. He's going to move on to the coffin terrain. And then he's going to attack me, because I'm the person that stood there. He attacks anybody in the same space as him. So I'm going to take my defense test, and I need to roll a 7 on my 3 dice, because my defense skill is quite high. Ooh, let's roll all 3 of them.
Doesn't matter. You nailed it. That was awesome.
Got it all 3 times. So there's the zeros and 10s, by the way. So there's a 10, a 10, and 8. So we passed it. It doesn't matter. I only needed to get 1, but just showing off apparently. So my character didn't take any damage. Okay, so that would be the end of the round. We could just come back down to the initiative track again. We've been through all these cards. So what we do now to continue the boss fight is we pick up the initiative cards and we'd shuffle them. We'd pick up the boss behavior cards, we'd shuffle those, we'd relay out a new initiative track, and we'd go again from left to right. So there's going to be a different player order and a different sequence of boss behaviors. What would happen if we really started to damage Count Draenor quite a lot and got him down to 5 health or less? Is that's where his enrage mechanic would come in. So that's where he's realised he's started to lose the fight now. He jumps back into his coffin, seals the coffin behind him, and starts to regenerate health. And this is why it's super important to have someone in your team with a high crafting skill. Even though we're in a boss fight, you use that crafting skill to sort of just wedge open the coffin again. So if we flip that card over that's on the boss fight, he jumps into the coffin, and it says then you need to take that crafting test to open the coffin again and even continue having the boss fight. And if you don't have a high crafting skill, you might never get the coffin open. He'll just regenerate all of his health back. While you're trying to get the coffin open, all of these bones cards in the corners of the boss fight have also flipped over, and they've become skeletons, and you've got to take down the skeletons before you can even go and try and get that coffin open and get Count Draenor out of there. Once you've taken down all the skeletons and got the coffin open and fought, and you carry on fighting Count Draenor until either he gets to 0 health or you do, and that would be the end of the boss fight. So in terms of the boss mechanics, we've themed this one quite heavily around how your fight with Count Draenor goes in the crypt below Draenor Manor. We've iterated on it a little bit because I don't think there's actually any skeletons down there in the video games, but it makes sense that there could be because he's a vampire in the day and he's in a gloomy crypt where there's lots of bones. So this fight is themed heavily around what's going on there in that crypt fight. But future boss fights, say against Delrith, which is the miniature we saw earlier, that boss fight is themed around what actually happens in Demon Slayer, where you're going to be having those dark wizards trying to summon him with a ritual. You've got to take down and deal with the dark wizards, as well as eventually fighting Delrith himself. And then when it comes to facing Elvarg towards the end of the core game, again, you've got a very different boss fight there with your action list themed around what happens in the Elvarg fight and trying to avoid being hit by those flame blasts and things that are going on in that cave. So yeah, they're very different from one to the next. And yeah, so that brings us to the end of this very quick look at the RuneScape Kingdoms demo. We've had a look at all the different mechanics that there are in the game, or most of the simple ones anyway. If people have got more questions about how this game works, I think Motsani read out a lot of information before. We can go through it again just to to get people involved where they can. So you can get involved in our Facebook group. You can look up the blogs that we're posting each week on the Steamforged Games website. You can look at the Notify Me page as well to get involved in the Kickstarter, where you can talk to us as well in the Kickstarter comments when that goes live about how this game works, and ask more questions and see if you like it. So yeah, that brings us to the end of our demo.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much, Jamie and Fraser. It's been a pleasure to have you both on, and my pleasure to play this for the second time now, which is fun both times. Very different fun this time with a very toxic mod light, but we'll put that aside for now. Yeah, if anyone is wanting to find more information, you can use !RuneScape Kingdoms or !RS Kingdoms in the chat. You'll have a bunch of links there. And as I mentioned earlier in the stream, keep an eye on both Steamforged socials, our socials, and the Game Update news post tomorrow. There will be some more information in there. Is there anything you guys would like to end on? Any more information you want to go through just to wrap things up?
That's the main thing for us, really. I mean, you can, as you said, you can hear from us again through blogs, through future streams. We're talking to quite a lot of influencers as well at this point, and doing reviewer streams with them. And you'll also be able to speak to us in the Facebook group. I can answer questions for you if you've got any specifics about the game. Otherwise, we'll see you at the Kickstarter on the 31st of May. And also, just to add to that, thank you very much for having us on to the Jagex stream once again. Thank you for playing with us, Modlight and Modsani. It's been great, and we'd love to play this game again in the future.
Oh, it was so fun. I really, really want to play it with you guys. And yeah, I can't wait to see the physical copy. It just looks like it's been so well done. There's so much detail put into it. I love it. Really, really well done. All the hard work you guys have put in.
Yeah, it looks great. The minis especially look fantastic. Like every time a new one pops up, I'm like, oh, excellent, another one to add. Like it's just so cool. But yeah, hopefully, yeah, we can have you on again soon. Maybe for another playthrough. Maybe Modlight will be a bit better with RNG next time. But yeah, I think apart from that, yeah, make sure you go and check out all the blogs on the Steamforged page. Tons and tons of information there. And yeah, have a look at the Kickstarter page and the Facebook group if you are inclined to. So I think with that, we should wrap up stream. So yeah, Modlight, is there anything you want to say just to round off?
No, just pop some sour brews with the boys and buy this board game because it looks really fun. It's definitely something you can have fun with your friends and just play with when it comes out.
Hell yeah. Remember, the Kickstarter starts on the 31st of this month, so make sure you're tuned in for that. Yeah, with that said, again, thank you so much, Jamie, Fraser, and China in the chat for taking us through this and answering questions. Yeah, that's the wrap. Go and check out the board game. Let us know what you think, and we will see you in the next one. Have a good day, all.
Thank you.
Thanks.